They thought they could keep it hidden. They thought the cameras wouldn't catch it. They thought nobody would believe the people who saw it with their own eyes.
The last Hollywood party I went to, I won't mention the person's name, but everyone was there. It was A+, whatever the hell, all the movie stars. And in comes a big movie star, and with him, his date, who was a 12-year-old boy. Okay, everybody was in their corners going, and I went, Lord, help me find my keys and get to my car. I had been drinking.
A 12-year-old at an A-list Hollywood party, and nobody stopped it. But two women who lived inside that world, two women who know exactly who these monsters are, they're done staying silent. One of them just exploded.
Those Epstein files show politicians and big shots and innocent children, then I say they ought to be castrated like the dirty dogs they are, and then hung high for treason. No mercy for monsters who sell out their own country and hurt our babies.
Dolly Parton, the woman who spent decades refusing to take political sides, the woman who sang to presidents and kings. She's calling for castration, for execution, for treason. And Roseanne, she's furious she didn't say it first.
I was so mad, Benny.
What do you know? Yeah.
I was like, why am I not up there saying that? Damn, I'm so jealous. He wrote the greatest jokes. I was just jealous and seething.
But here's what nobody's connecting. These two women aren't just angry. They're describing an entire system of blackmail, trafficking, and political control that reaches into every corner of power. And they have receipts. For decades, Roseanne Barr occupied a unique position in entertainment. She was untouchable. She was the queen, a woman who built an empire from nothing, who controlled her narrative, who answered to nobody. But that same fearlessness that made her a legend in Hollywood is what allowed her to see things other celebrities refuse to acknowledge. And she's been trying to warn us for years.
And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
Now, before you dismiss this as conspiracy talk, understand what she's describing. When Roseanne uses terms like vampires and blood drinkers, she's not speaking literally in the supernatural sense. She's describing a pattern of predatory behavior so extreme, so inhuman, that ordinary language fails. She's describing people who feed on the vulnerable, who consume innocence, who are sustained by exploitation. And the problem? People laughed.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires.
Listen to the narrator's tone. Even the people interviewing her, people documenting her claims, are treating it like performance art, like she's playing a character. That's the genius of the system. Dismiss the messengers, make them sound crazy, undermine their credibility before the message lands. But Roseanne wasn't joking, and she wasn't alone in seeing it.
You can't wake people up that are pretending to be asleep, but I pray to God, please wake up even those who are pretending to be asleep with the irrefutable truth of what the worst people on this planet are really up to.
She's right. There's a difference between ignorance and willful blindness. Millions of people in Hollywood, in politics, in law enforcement, they know. They've seen the evidence. They've heard the rumors. Some have even witnessed it directly. But the cost of speaking out is so high that silence becomes the only rational choice. Until now. In 2020, comedian Ricky Gervais took the stage at the Golden Globes. And in 20 seconds, he said something that made everyone in that room extremely uncomfortable.
You're all friends with Epstein. You had to use your own plane to get here. Here we go.
That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way. So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
I know he's your friend.
Yeah? You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you?
Do you understand what just happened? Ricky Gervais literally accused the entire room of being friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He said it on live television in front of millions of viewers. And it was framed as a joke. That's the game. You hide the truth in comedy. You let people laugh. You let them dismiss it. And while they're laughing, the message embeds everyone in that audience. Call him out without admitting guilt. This infuriated Roseanne.
And then 2.
I was so mad, Benny.
What do you know? Yeah.
I was like, why am I not up there saying that? Damn, I'm so jealous. He wrote the greatest jokes. I was just jealous and seething.
Listen to that rage. That's not just professional jealousy. That's a woman who's been screaming into the void for years. Watching a comedian get applause for saying what she's been saying seriously, without protection, without the shield of humor. She's been labeled crazy for telling the truth. Ricky gets a standing ovation for joking about the same truth. And here's the bitter part. Roseanne understands why.
There's some of our type in Hollywood behind them cameras and writing, helping Ricky, shape his act, because, you have to have helpers, because any show they watch everything you say, pick it apart. So he had to have that approved. So there's some of our kind in there, people who just are not buying the BS anymore and know better. Because we saw with our own eyes what they do. We saw what they do.
She's saying something crucial here. Some of the people in power inside the system itself are awake. They're complicit in the exposure. They're allowing certain truths to slip through in controlled doses. The Ricky Gervais moment wasn't an accident. It was calculated. It was designed to plant the seed while maintaining plausible deniability. The system polices itself. It always has. But Roseanne isn't just speaking in theory. She has a story. A first-hand account, one that shows exactly how normalized the horror has become.
The last Hollywood party I went to, I won't mention the person's name, but everyone was there. It was A+, whatever the hell, all the movie stars. And in comes a big movie star, and with him, his date, who was a 12-year-old boy.
12-year-old boy. And this is what we keep hearing a lot more of, having these very young, I guess, boys and girls being dates or escorts with these highly famous people.
Okay, everybody was in their corners going, and I went, Lord, help me find my keys and get to my car. I had been drinking, like always. But I go, Lord, help me get my keys and get to my car and get the holy hell out of here and make it home safely. Please, Lord. And I ran for my life.
Read between the lines. A-list party. Everyone was there. A famous actor, a 12-year-old child, presented as a date, and nobody stopped it. What Roseanne is describing is so normalized within elite Hollywood that nobody even attempted intervention. The child wasn't being hidden. There was no shame. It was treated as a normal arrival. This is what normalization looks like. This is what happens when an entire ecosystem is built on exploitation. And when she left, she had to pray for safety getting to her car because she knew what she'd witnessed, and she knew that witnessing certain things can be dangerous.
And that was the last time, Benny. So yeah, I know what they do, and I know they do even worse. And I moved to Hawaii. Couldn't be there 1 second longer than I had to.
She moved to Hawaii to escape the ecosystem, to put distance between herself and the machine, but even paradise wasn't far enough. The knowledge haunted her. The responsibility gnawed at her. So she came back.
And then to think that I came back from Hawaii to go there again because I saw how bad they were trying to separate people, and the only reason they separate us and say, oh, that's the Republicans, that's the Democrats. The only reason they do that, Benny, is for fundraising.
This is crucial. She's describing the primary mechanism of control, division. The left versus right narrative isn't about policy. It's about fundraising. It's about creating false opposition so the public stays fractured while the real crimes happen behind closed doors. Everyone's focused on which team is winning the political game while children are being trafficked and murdered. But Roseanne isn't just talking about isolated incidents. She's describing a system, a structure where power is consolidated through compromise and blackmail.
I think it goes to the royals of the world, the kings and queens. That's how they get there. Come on, it isn't just Hollywood.
She's describing a meritocracy of evil. You don't rise to power through talent or integrity. You rise through connection to the network. You get invited to the parties, you're exposed to the crimes, you become complicit, you're captured. And that's when you're useful. This is exactly what Robert David Steele, a former intelligence operative, revealed about the political system.
And has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child. Okay, or to multiple people. The bottom line here is the United States government has become so corrupt that the time has come, I think, to clean the crap out of the stables and start over.
Think about that. If true, Epstein wasn't just a trafficker. He was an intelligence operation, a harvesting operation, a blackmail farm, every major politician on video doing something terrible to a child. That's not a scandal. That's a weapon. That's control. And the political system we see, the chaos, the dysfunction, the bizarre alignment on certain issues, that's not incompetence. That's coordination by people who are all held by the same leash. This is why Dolly Parton's entrance into this conversation is so significant. Dolly Parton has spent her entire career building a brand of universal love and acceptance. She's refused to take political sides. She's friends with Democrats and Republicans. She's raised money for causes across the entire spectrum. She's the definition of neutrality. And then she exploded.
Everybody knows I don't do politics, she said during an interview cited by The Hill. My mother was a Democrat, and my dad was a Republican. So, I'm a hypocrite, she joked.
I'm an entertainer. I think of myself as an entertainer. Not that they're not, but I mean, I've got fans on both sides. I've got Democrat fans, I've got Republican fans, I've got all kinds of fans.
She made that statement. She planted that flag. She said, I'm neutral. I'm above this. And then she was confronted with the evidence of the Epstein files, with the names, with the crimes against children, and every principle of her neutrality collapsed.
Well, honey, if those Epstein files show politicians and big shots and innocent children, then I say they ought to be castrated like the dirty dogs they are. And then hung high for treason. No mercy for monsters who sell out their own country and hurt our babies.
Castrated, hung for treason. These aren't the words of someone maintaining a neutral stance. This is righteous fury. This is a grandmother saying there is no middle ground when children are being sacrificed. And she's right, there isn't.
I ask God every day to let me be a blessing to mankind and to uphold him and to glorify him, and that's how I go about my day.
Dolly's entire worldview is built on blessing, on upholding, on glorifying God. And when she saw the evidence of systematic child abuse, she understood that protecting those crimes is the opposite of everything she believes. You cannot be a blessing to mankind while allowing the exploitation of the most vulnerable. She finally said what every person in power should be saying. These people deserve punishment, not mercy, not rehabilitation, not political debate, justice. Now, here's where it gets terrifying, because the Epstein files reveal something about our government that both Roseanne and Dolly alluded to. The political system is completely captured. Journalist Matt Latizier explained it plainly.
The government, and now there's a Labour government. I wonder if anyone could tell me if they've noticed any difference between the two parties. It has become a uni-party. They're both taking you to the same destination. They might just take a different route to get there. You only get into a position of power if the powers that be have got something on you.
It's not just America, it's global. The appearance of political opposition is theater. The real system is singular. The real loyalty is upward to the networks that control everything. And how do you maintain control of a politician? The same way Epstein did, blackmail.
How about the entire United States Congress, both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans together, rising to their feet 58 times in standing ovations for Benjamin Netanyahu? They did that 58 times in just 1 hour. That, my friends, is exactly the kind of shocking bipartisan unity Robert David Steele warned us about.
58 standing ovations from both sides in 1 hour for a foreign leader. That's not patriotism. That's not democracy. That's coordination. That's people acting in lockstep because they've all been captured. This is what Roseanne meant when she said power is distributed through networks, not votes. And this is why the Epstein files are so explosive. They reveal the mechanism of control. Recently, Vice President Vance announced he's personally investigating the coded language found in the Epstein files, emails using sophisticated terminology associated with child trafficking networks. But here's the question: will that investigation actually happen?
Yeah. So
I'm probably more obsessed with this than most officials, okay? Probably more obsessed with this than most people even in this room, is when you see somebody who says something in an email that suggests, you know, there's one email I read, and it's been a little while ago, but it was talking about, you know, one person sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying, oh, there were some really nice, like, pizzas and grape sodas or something like that. And I remember it sounded like the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, but here it was in like an email from a guy. And my reaction to that was, we should absolutely investigate that person, okay?
He's saying the right words about investigating powerful people who use coded language. But Roseanne and Dolly both understand something critical. Words without action are just noise. Representative Lauren Boebert is taking a different approach. She's demanding access to the Anthony Weiner laptop, the original source of much of this information.
Yeah. I absolutely want to know what was on there, what was the secret folder that was titled Life Insurance, that had frazzle.rip, where people get the frazzle drip story from. I want to see this video. You know, if it's totally fake, if it's not there, I'll come out and say it. I want to see what people are talking about. These things don't just originate out of nowhere. So if it means issuing a subpoena from the Oversight Committee to get my hands on this laptop, then that's what I will do.
And then she said something chilling.
It's been said that FBI agents who went in and viewed this laptop, many of them are not alive anymore. And so, I mean, what is it with this laptop? Apparently, you know, it's been said that many have committed suicide. That it was so disturbing.
FBI agents who viewed the laptop are dead, multiple deaths, called suicides. And the laptop contains evidence so damaging that people died to try to keep it hidden. This is the system Roseanne and Dolly are describing. Not theoretical, not metaphorical, real, lethal, ruthless. Roseanne Barr spent years being mocked for telling the truth. Dolly Parton just surrendered her neutrality to call for justice. Robert David Steele revealed the mechanism of political control. Lauren Boebert is demanding access to the evidence. Vice President Vance promised an investigation. The question now is whether anything changes.
It's all devil worshippers. I'm telling you, I always say, baby blood drinking Democrat donors. That's it, period.
Just a final question on this topic, since, of course, it is your expertise. What do you think would happen if there was an honest prosecution of people at Diddy parties, people on the Epstein list? Do you think that anybody would be left standing in Hollywood? Is it that endemic?
She believes in divine intervention, but she also believes in human responsibility. We have to fix it. We have to kick them out. We have to stop pretending to be asleep, because that's the final mechanism of control, the public's willingness to ignore what they already know. Roseanne and Dolly both understand that the exposure is already happening. The Epstein files are public. The names are known. The evidence is mounting. What's left is accountability, and whether we're brave enough to demand